If you believe in fairies, Beltane is a good time to leave out food and other treats for them in your garden. I don't have a garden, but I will be leaving some cream and some honey on my altar this year. Our craft project for this year is a little bit different than craft projects in the past. Laura was in control of all of it this time, and she came up with this really great idea. And the only problem was is I've never done it before. So I felt completely challenged and at a loss. And I'm not gonna lie, I whined a lot. And you'll see, I'll show you. And yes, I am calling myself out on my own bullshit because I was ridiculous. And the project that she came up with is she found these really cute moss purses, and she decided we were going to do a floral arrangement. And I've never done that before. And I didn't know that she has. She used to work at a florist. So I was a little salty at first. And I made it well known. I don't have any directions for this craft because she brought everything, and I honestly didn't get a lot of footage because I was busy complaining and freaking out because I had never done this before. But I suppose you could take an old purse and cover it with moss and then fill it with the artificial flowers. I'll be honest, I'm not a big fan of artificial flowers, and they just they remind me of those men. They look really good from a distance, then they get close and then you touch them, and then you realize how fake they really are, and you're sorry that you touched them to begin with. But that was my attitude yesterday. I don't have that attitude anymore. What it all came down to is I didn't know what I was doing, and I was crabby, as you can tell. And so I did a lot of complaining. Laura did a lot of explaining. And thank God she did take lessons because that helped a lot. And this was me. It's so pretty. Mine sucks ass. Because you do such a good job. And I've got like all these holes everywhere. And yours is like nice and full.
Well, you just have to keep filling. I just keep filling stuff in with it.
Yeah, and then it looks like you do.
What?
It's fine. It's fine, Laura. It's fine. This is not one of my.
I think
It's
yours
just.
looks pretty, and you're being a little hard on yourself.
I think you're probably right.
I think you're probably.
Yeah, so that is me in my glory, and eventually I quit whining like a little bitch, and I put on my big girl panties, and we finished our projects, and I ended up being really happy. And that was Laura's when she was finished, and it's absolutely beautiful, like always. And I honestly was really happy with mine too, and I'm kind of surprised about that, honestly, because I was so uncomfortable not being in my element yesterday. But it's good for me, and I know that. And I learn all these things every time I do something new, and I wish that I wasn't always afraid to do something new. So I'm working on that. And then I added this little cardinal because we always think of somebody that we've lost with cardinals, and this cardinal represented Kathy, our friend who passed away. And yeah, I was happy with it. And that's Laura's. And that one there is mine. Now, before I show my altar, I do want to share with you a gift that I had made Laura for her sobriety birthday. And I really wanted it to be special. So I designed this self-love kit that has a journal in it, and it came with prompts for self-love to write in the journal. And then I gave her a witch ball that had herbs and charms in it, all that represent her and self-love. I created a enchantment for her to use on Beltane for self-love, and The most important thing that I wanted to give her was a crown, because every woman deserves a crown, and I don't think I've met any woman that deserves one more than Laura. She had given me watercolor paints for my birthday, and so I decided that I wanted to make something that was going to have some of that involved in it. And so it was my first time using watercolors, but they didn't turn out too bad, and so I made that part of the gift too, to thank her, because I really love that medium. She really loved her gift, and after talking to a friend of mine and then going over it with her yesterday, I've made the decision that I am going to be putting these kits into my shop at anoldfriendstudio.com or on my Etsy, An Old Friend Studio. You can find both online. Oh, and I almost forgot. You receive a letter from the Fairy Queen telling you to take a day off. It is mandatory, and you don't want to piss off the fairies. And there's no way I was going to go without having a photo of her in her crown. And yes, look at that girl. She is a real queen. Thank you, Laura, for everything you've done for me and being a part of my life. Okay, now the altar. I knew that I wanted to have Rhiannon on my altar. I wanted to have the fairies. I wanted to represent flowers this year. And that was about all I had going on in my mind when I was starting to decorate my altar. Now, I want to say right away that I don't have Stevie Nicks in this video, but she will have her own space, and it'll be next to my altar. I just didn't have time to make that space up for her to get this video out in time for all of you. But she is definitely going to be by my altar on Beltane. So I pulled out my fairy door that I made last year in one of these videos, and I pulled out my real dried flowers because I really love those, just like I really love real men. And I got those ready, and I wanted to add some things that were a part of Rhiannon so that I could honor her. So I pulled out my peacock, my white peacock, because white feathers represent Rhiannon, and I had a white feather that was given to me, and I put that out too. I set up everything for the Rhiannon incantation that I plan on doing on Beltane morning. And what always starts off being so difficult to figure out just flowed once I started. And I'd been collecting things all like the last couple of weeks and throwing it on the altar for what I wanted to place on it this year. And it just seemed to, it's always so difficult in my mind, but the minute I start doing it, it just flows so easily. And I feel like that works with everything I do in my life. I made sure I added my Beltane purse floral piece that we made, and I whined about and made sure that I put it on there, and I added a charm to the front of the purse. I made a candle specifically for Rhiannon to go by her, and that's the candle for my enchantment for Beltane. Now, this flower moved several times while I was decorating the altar, and I'm not gonna lie, this did not all go down without a hitch. I actually was pulling something, a baby's breath actually, off of the front and pulled down that whole set of the door and the bird and the baby's breath. I have a thing for baby's breath. I didn't realize just how obsessed I am with baby's breath. And there's my altar, and I'm really pleased. It reminds me of an English garden, and it's exactly what I think represents me, represents Rhiannon, represents Beltane and the fairies. And I had a really good time, despite my brain and the baby's breath, and that fucking purse, and those fake flowers. But seriously, I really did have a really good experience with all of it, and the challenges were overcome, and I learned how to make a floral arrangement, which has never been on my list of crafts that I've ever wanted to make in my entire life. And now I can put it down on my resume. So, yeah, it was good. I hope everybody has an amazing Beltane. So let me ask you, what are you going to be doing on that magical day of Beltane? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to this account. It doesn't cost anything, and it really helps me out. And until next time, stay blessed, sweet souls.